of the recruitment process, how it was characterized by corruption and malfeasances. They marched to the government house saying, hey, when are we going to have the employment process restarted? And they were met by a representative of the governor in person of the head of the civil service, Weke, and he told them the reason why the process was cancelled in the first place, that the government was looking at over 800 staff, something like that, and what was done was thrice the amount. A majority of those staff should have been academic staff and the rest non-academic, but more non-academic were employed than academic staff. And so we saw that promise made yesterday by the River State government that they will recommend, and many media houses have carried it, many media platforms have carried it, even here on 92.3 Nigeria Info we carried the news. However, I would like to speak with one of the people who led the protest. I don't even know if he's the leader, but I do know his name popped up yesterday. I'm talking about Kponi Barinedum Valentine, and together we will be looking at the promise of the government. We'll be looking at what really transpired from their own perspective, and we'll be getting more details to this very issue. Welcome on the show, Barinedum Valentine. It's good to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Kalada. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right. So let's start with my first question. What are the grievances? You guys protested yesterday. What were you protesting about? What was the grouse of that protest?
Okay. We were at River State Government House yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
To interface with the governor of the state.
Okay.
His Excellency Sasim Life.
Okay.
And we did not just go there because it pleases us to go to the state house. It was because we have suffered a whole lot after working for 9 months. After being engaged for 9 months and working for the state government, we were not paid, and we woke up one morning just to tune into our radio stations, and the government is telling us that a job that we applied for, a job that was advertised by them and we applied, we wrote the 4 ministers, we were called for physical interview, we went for the interview, and the interview was supervised by the Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Onuchukwu. And after all of this exercise, we were appointed to different positions, some for academic and others for non-academic. So we went to the government house because we woke up one morning, as I said earlier, and the government cancelled our job, fighting irregularity. And that word is something that they have not been able to come clearly and tell us what the irregularities is all about. For crying out loud, this is a state that belongs to all of us. It is a government that we all supported. So we were there at the government house yesterday to interface with the governor, to actually hear from him one-on-one what our crimes are. Because the last time I checked, the only crime we committed is working for a state government that has refused to play to their own part of the bargain, which means for every laborer, it deserves his wages. And we have been denying these wages for good 9 months.
Do you feel any level of satisfaction with the explanation given by the River State government, as represented by the head of civil service?
To be honest with you, to be very honest with you, we have had so many promises, we have had so many rumors, and this has not helped any of us in any way. So I won't totally come out and tell you, as I speak to you, I'm speaking on behalf of the conscience of all of those that were duly interviewed and got this job. I won't tell you that we felt satisfied, but we want them to do what is right. It is only when they have done what is right that we will be satisfied that we can go back to our houses and sleep with our eyes closed, knowing fully well that we have a government that has promised and kept to their promises. But until then, we are not satisfied.
Now, when you talk about what is right, you said they should do what is right. I don't know. Maybe you could, expatiate on that. What you mean by they should do what is right? Because the government has said that the process was flawed. However, you use the phrase duly interviewed. Now,
Yes.
the government is saying that out of the 800 plus slots, 1,000 plus, were employed. He said that even the right processes were not followed. Different reasons. Maybe that's why they couldn't even pay. I don't know. But what is the right steps the right thing you're asking that the government should do?
The right thing we're asking the government to do is simple. We didn't just wake up one morning and decide to take our bags to Ignatius Ajuru and march into the offices and started working. We didn't do any of that. There was something that gave us that right to work, and that was our appointment letters.
Okay.
Now, the exercise that took place in the school was, like I said earlier, was supervised by the Vice Chancellor. And we all know the exercise took place in the month of October 2022. And in the month of November, we were issued our appointment letter.
Okay.
And everybody that attended that interview have one unifying employment letter with the date November 1st, 2022. So we are asking the government to stick to that November batch of those that were duly interviewed, those that went through all the processes and got the job.
So your
The other persons that came up after then and got the job and have January, February, March, and as the case may be, as the appointment letters, we are not interested in them because they are the people that caused us all of these issues.
Okay, so you're saying that you were employed according to your employment letter November 1, 2022. That is under Wike's administration.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Now there are allegations that the process was characterized by corruption. What can you tell us about the process? Because some callers in the past, even yesterday, said that the process was characterized by nepotism. Know me, I know you. It was characterized by.
Depends on what they are actually referring to as characterized by nepotism. Because,
okay, just tell us what the process was like. What was the process like? Let's start from there.
The process was okay. Let me start by expatiating and also giving a detailed explanation of all what transpired.
Okay.
Because as I speak to you, I am one of the persons that went through all the processes. Now, because of I went through the process, I can tell you clearly what is inside.
Okay.
These various jobs for academic and non-academic positions were duly advertised on national dailies as it should be when employment is being announced. Now, a platform was set for us to apply online, which we did, sending our credentials. The whole exercises was done online until it was when we were called for physical interview. After we applied online, there was a 4 minutes or 5 minutes test that was set for those that applied. Now, if you pass that test, you will now be shortlisted for an oral interview. We went through that stage of applying, went through the stage of writing the formal test, got to the stage of having the oral interview, which the Vice Chancellor chaired, as I stated earlier. And the Vice Chancellor was the one in charge of the whole exercise. They asked you questions. Like for me, I applied for an academic positions. I can tell you clearly the questions he asked.
Please, I'd like to hear them.
Okay, he asked me to define what research is.
What research?
I did that. Research is a systematic process of carrying out the investigation. It has to go through all the process. Research as a circle where you have to first and foremost.
Let's leave the definition. I'm not interviewing you for a job, but he asked. I just want to know the other question.
I was just trying to make you understand that I actually went through the process. And we went through the process. Now, after the processes, we were issued this appointment letter into various positions. And if the state government is sincere and wants to do the right thing, they should go back to the list of those that were duly interviewed and attend to those people. That is what our demands are.
Okay.
And they should also pay us the months that we have worked, because we have families to feed. In the face of these hard economic situations, we are suffering. Many persons, I can tell you clearly, in the course of all of these events, we have 3 of our colleagues that have lost their lives. These are people that have underlying health issues. They react to news in different ways. As the news of our cancellation came up, people could not take it. The parents of some of the people that got the job have to also suffer this huge shock. It has not been easy.
All right.
So,
I'm going to pause you. I'm going to pause you.
is-
No. I'm going to pause you, Valentine, because we do have a commercial coming up. So please just stay on the line. We'll be right back after the commercial break. And I would like to know some more questions you were asked by the Vice Chancellor about, apart from, definition of research. I'd like to hear, other questions, just to know what the process was like, during that period and that time.
I'll be glad to make that known to the public.
All right. Do stay tuned.
It's almost time for school.
with me on the show is Kponi Barinedum Valentine. Welcome back on the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Galada.
All right, we are looking at the conversation that started yesterday after the protest to the government house, the River State government house, talking about the recommencement of employment protest during University of Education. All right, that being said, we're talking Valentine, I'd like to hear. You said some of the questions asked to you. One, what is research? What other questions were asked you?
Well, in relation to various field of study, because as an academic staff, you will ask questions, particularly in your area of discipline. And I applied to be a lecturer in the Department of Geography and Environmental Studies, specifically as a GIS and remote sensing specialist. It has been grossly observed that in Ignatius Ajuru University and over various departments, there are a level of short manpower, and I can tell you clearly that they don't have any lecturer in that department that teaches the students GIS and remote sensing, and this is an integral part of what makes you a geographer, of what at the end of your 4 years studies you can come up and say, yes, you actually studied geography. They don't have such lecturers. And when I was interviewed, I was asked what I want to bring to the system, because I can't just come to the system where I cannot be productive. And I told the Vice Chancellor, this and this and this is what I will bring to this system. I would ensure this is being done if I'm being employed. And ever since then, I have been in actively practicing what I know how best to do. I have made significant impact in that department. The HOD is a testament to all what I have done. The academic staff can tell you.
So when you say sorry
across all other departments.
Sorry, let me pause you. Sorry, let me pause you. When you say what you have done, are you still working there? Are you still?
No. What we did.
Okay.
Because I'm not still working. I'm not working there.
Okay.
So as someone that has been close to these lecturers, from time to time, I get a call from the department to come and assist them in doing works related to GIS and remote sensing.
All right.
And I go there and still put in my services. And yet, persons like me across other departments have been there. They have worked, they have taught students, they have prepared results. Students have used same results to graduate. And yet, you're saying we are not supposed to be paid because of one form of irregularities that we did not cause. Are we supposed to be beaten and also be asked not to cry for a crime that we did not commit? No, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Now, Kalada, I would say clearly, please let me come in here. In the heat of all of this, when this cancellation was announced, we were advised to go to court, to put an injunction, to do several things. But we decided not to go towards that direction, because we know that we have a governor that has been listening here. A governor that would heed to the cries of her people. A governor that will know that, yes, this is what it is due these people because they have worked. And on that note, they should be paid for their services rendered. What the government did, I will tell you clearly, and I stand to be corrected, they should tell me where is, what they did is an agreement to Labor Act. That you will employ somebody, give the person employment letter, assign responsibilities, give the person a ID card, and all of a sudden you're telling the person that you don't need his or her services again without payment. No, we are all human beings. We have conscience.
Now,
we are pleading to the conscience of the government.
Before we get to the plea, we're not done with the questions here. Before we get to the plea, I'm thinking November 1, 2022 was the employment day and date, and then you were not paid for 9 months. That means December, January, up until September. You were not paid. September of 2023. Do you in any way think that you guys are a victim of the political situation in River State?
I wouldn't want to meddle into that.
No, we're not meddling, because some people say that it is actually people who helped the governor or the former governor, in his political ambitions that were rewarded with the employment at the Ignatius Ajuru University.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. If they are saying that, then the government, they are saying, and that is what they deem fit to say at this point in time, when they are supposed to be they're supposed to have empathy for us about what we are going through. That means they don't really, I would say they don't really have human conscience, because nobody would hear what we have gone through and would be happy about it.
All right, now let's look at this from this angle. You said November was the first batch, there was another batch January, there was another batch February of 2023.
When we're seeing people with such employment leaders,
what makes you think that your employment is more legal, or is even legal, and the other one is not?
Well, to answer your question directly, looking at the legal aspects, if we want to critically examine the whole circumstances, we that are the November batch, we are seeing ourselves as those that are legally employed, because we went through all the whole process.
So what makes you think that's what I'm asking? What makes you think the other people did not go through the process?
Because
oh my, crazy network there. So I'm just gonna try to reconnect with my guest, and let's see. All right, so I don't know, maybe I should take some few messages. Let's say this one. This one says, good afternoon, Kalada. Governor Sim should reinstate and pay those youths, because pushing them back to the streets after 9 months at this time is anti-people, especially for a government that promised to work for Rivers people. They should fix the irregularities and reinstate the genuine ones, and shouldn't throw the innocent baby with the dirty water. The system knows those who came through the back door best in Port Harcourt. All right, I have my guest back via the phone. Welcome back. Network was crazier indeed. Well, you were saying something before the network cut you off. You were talking about why you feel those people did not go through the due process.
Because yes, I was saying that because there was no point where the university came up and conducted a second interview. The university conducted just one interview. And in this whole process of our employment, if you come around the Senate building, you will see where it was posted that employment has ended, employment process has ended. So that alone is enough reason for us to say those that attended the interview have the legal backing to say, yes, we are the people that are duly employed.
Okay. So now let's get to demands, and please. So what are you asking from the? Are you open to a new employment process? Because the word or the way the head of service structured it, he said it will recommence the employment process. It did not say they did not say reinstatement. They said they will recommence the employment process. So are you open to a new employment process? Are you ready to go through the rigor? I heard that some people paid 17,000 naira. I don't know for what, but can you clarify all of these things for us?
Okay. Yes. So before I go into the payment of 17,000 as a whole, let me answer the question you asked earlier. Now, if the government have come up to say yesterday that they are going to revisit the process and commence a new recruitment exercise, I want us to actually understand something. The head of civil service yesterday stated clearly that the people that were supposed to be employed are supposed to be mostly academic staff. Now, on the list of those that were interviewed, there are persons, which I am a victim of such, that applied for academic positions, that were given non-academic positions. If the government is sincere and they want to address that issue, they should go back to that originally. Look at people that applied for various positions. If you apply for academic positions and you are fit to be there, they should confirm you as an academic staff instead of the non-academic positions that were given to people. That alone will solve this issue.
So now the question,
that we are going, that will solve
the question
this
I
issue.
asked you, the question I asked you again: are you open for a new process entirely, new employment process?
We are entirely not open to it. We're entirely not open to it. They should look at what has been done before and build on that. If they want to go into the new process, they should absorb those that have worked for this long before any other person. On that note, then we can be open for a new process.
All right. So let's talk about the 17,000 naira. Part of your employment process. I don't get that part, please.
Yeah. That also was one of the things that happened during the entire exercise.
Why were you made to pay 17,000?
The school management stated that we are paying. This money is categorized into two: 15,000 naira for medical examination, which we all paid into a designated account, and an extra 2,000 naira for pre-biometric exercise. This money were paid before we were even attended to at the medical center and before we were attended to at the biometrics. We did a pre-biometric exercise at the school before our details were sent to Ministry of Justice, State Civil Service, which the exercise took place at the Ministry of Justice for biometric capturing. So we paid this sum of money into the school accounts. Now, this is another angle of it which I don't want to go into because it will cause a whole lot of issues. Because we will be forced to ask questions. Is it that the school management or the government scammed us? Is another angle that we don't want to delve into because we can't pay such amount of money in the face of harsh economic situations and the job we got is being taken from us and yet we are not paid after working for 9 months. All right.
That's how much we can talk about on the show. But I don't know. Do you have any final words? Any final words at all? Do you want to make a plea? What message are you sending to the Rivers State Governor?
Okay. Yes, we like yesterday that we came out. We said that clearly that the governor have stated that he is for the people. We, the disengaged staff of Ignatius Ajuru University, we have not felt his impact. We want to feel his impact as the governor of our dear River State. He should look at all of these issues and see how he can attend to it without us gashing our teeth and crying, going to bed with our pillows soaked, all because we got a job and the government refused to pay us after working for 9 months. The government should use her executive power, and as a good person that he has portrayed to be, we believe in his rulership, we believe in his leadership, and we are trusting and believing that as the governor of our state, he is going to do the right thing by calling us back and paying us our 9 months salary. The 9 months salary is very paramount.
Okay.
He should please, in terms of these harsh economic situations,
I've got to go. But thank you very much for your time, Kponi, Barinedum, Valentine. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Keep listening. There is a commercial coming up, a very interesting commercial for those of you into real estate. But when we do come back, we will talk some more open season, that is, to stay tuned.